volleyball joint today.
How she
Uh,
do?
she killed it. Her
Yeah.
team, her team, not so much, but I mean, she killed it though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She was. I don't know what it is about my kids. They always look in the audience to find me to get like my stamp of approval of how they play.
That's
But
interesting though, bro. Like it's funny though, man. It'd be hard for me to watch Landon even play though, bro, because sometimes I would rather not even watch him play. It's tough. It's tough. Tough, tough,
no,
tough.
I love to give them encouragement, especially in like Layla's case where the team doesn't necessarily do as well.
Right.
So I like to give her encouragement because at the end of the day, like I told her, you're in the seventh grade, and
Hey, boy.
so you know what I'm saying, you got time to develop, especially because this is the first time you've ever played this particular sport, and like we just gonna work on mechanics and get you right. Like this
Is
is
she is she is she a natural? She a natural athlete out here?
natural.
Yeah,
Anything she set her mind to do, she can do it. She just like me, for real, for real. Because
that's
I
dope.
mean, my thing is, I've never been trained on how to play volleyball, but I kill it, and it's no cap.
You know what, man? I think for the most part, I think I'm pretty good at most things that I
Yeah,
dabble with.
that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
I know
You'd
for
be
a
hard
fact.
pressed to find something that I'm just trash at. Golf is probably the only thing that
Yes,
I've
golf I'm
tried.
trash
I'm
at.
just trash at,
Yeah,
bro.
golf I'm trash at. But I'm saying anything that's just like just constructed off of pure athleticism, I'm okay. Like
Yeah,
I know
golf is
for a
the
fact.
only thing I've struggled with, bro. But put it like this: golf is the only thing that I've, and maybe it's because I've never been taught how to play it, right? That I
Right.
just tried to pick it up and go. But golf is the only thing sports wise where I have played it and I've thought, oh, in most other sports, I thought, oh, if I would have just stuck with this, I could have done something major with it or whatever, whatever. Most things athletically, I feel that way on though, bro.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Like I'm sure if me and you got on the volleyball court, we'd kill it.
I play most of the time when I'm at the beach and everything like that. I get down though, man. I mean, athleticism pretty much runs through most things though, man. I think that I don't know though, bro. I listen. I'm gonna be honest. I assume that my little brother is pretty good at golf. If he can do it, I can do it. Hell, he ain't doing nothing that much better than me now.
Man, golf is a different beast, though. I have to say, because I done been out there and tried to hit that ball, and it's not what it's all cracked up to be.
I've only tried at a range playing top golf. Wait a minute. Hit that intro music one time. One time. Hit that intro one time. Let me get that. Okay.
Can you dig it, sucker?
The greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast. The greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast. The greatest podcast of all time.
Get over here!
Okay. Thanksgiving, my brother from another mother. What's happening?
What's going on, man?
Man, it is this week is a first for us though, bro.
Why you said
Because
that?
since we've been doing the pod, this is the first official week of football, bro. We talked about football, but we've never had a show during football season, though, bro. So I'm excited about this one, though, man.
I'm excited too.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be. I'm interested to see how the season gonna go. I'm looking to see who gonna be claiming their teams. I'm looking to see how everything is gonna play out, though, bro. So I'm pretty excited about having the pod during football season, though, man. It's a difference.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, didn't get a chance to catch that for college football. Apparently, I'm thinking that
Caught a
team
little
is
bit.
still holding off.
I caught a, no, I caught a
Um,
little bit. It was great. I was at Chili's celebrating the birthday with the in-laws, and we were at Chili's, and there was some games on. It was bro, I'm telling you, bro, these camera angles really make you forget that there's no fans there, and I'm excited for it.
I am curious though, man, on how you. I mean, I guess I wasn't. I don't think anybody was expecting like the Pac-12 to make a big deal or difference on championship. They hardly ever do. But I am kind of curious though, man, on how you contend for a national championship without the other power conferences not even competing in it. Because now that basically makes it a matter of Big 12 or SEC. I mean ACC. So you got it between three conferences now. That's a different look, though, bro.
It's a different look, but here's my thing. My coach always told me you play against the person that's across from you.
Play against who you playing against, bro.
That's right. So, I mean, I get it. I understand why other schools might have backed out. I mean, even my own son, who is at a Division II, they are thinking about canceling the basketball season. So I get it. So I understand, but at the same token, if they feel like they have the protocols in place to safely do it, which we'll get into a bunch of things that are safe to do, what I'm saying, later on, it's one of those things like at some point we have to move forward at some point because we could be looking at living this way for quite a long time.
I think that if people have the same level of intrepidation that I have, it's the fact that there's not a lot of factual information that's put out there. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think that that's purposely done as well, though, man. Like I think that there's way more information about this than what's been put out there. I think that it's purposely done. I think that it's no coincidence that they're talking about, vaccinations, the closer it's getting to elections. I think that there's still not enough information out there to make the average person say, all right, I'm gonna go ahead. And when I say factual information, I'm saying that when you say these are all of the things that we know for absolute sure about this virus, right? Here are all of these symptoms that you can look for. There's only like 4 of them now, right? So there's the thing. Here are some things that you can do, right? Not just if you're telling me wash your hands, don't touch your face is all you got. I mean, tell me more about these are some things you can do to boost your immune system. These are some things that you can do. These are what we go back and forth about masks and everything like that. I just don't think that there is enough consistent factual information. And so if you're leaving it up to people to say, hey, you know what, do whatever you feel is necessary for you and your family, then I'm opting out. So I can see why most, if you're a parent, even if you're over these, college leagues, I can see why you feel like, well, since I don't know enough, the best thing that I can do to protect my players, to protect my students, is to just opt them out, bro.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I definitely understand, but at the same time, I'm not gonna chastise the ones that are choosing to move forward.
Me neither.
So my thing is that like even with Oklahoma, the Sooners, which I could care less about them, but I want them to be as healthy as they possibly can be so that when Texas beats them, there's no excuses. But at the same token, even with them, I think out of the 300 or so staff that they only had like, I think 9 or so people that tested positive. Is a very small number.
That is interesting though. You say that, you bring that up because that Red River shootout, that might be a little different this year, bro. Like,
it will be different, but it's going to happen. I mean, the game is still going to be played. It's still going to mean the same thing. It just won't be the fans there to see it.
I couldn't imagine them not having fans. Like, I think that by then they're going to have at least half that stadium filled up, bro.
No. I think there are going to be fans. I think with all sporting events, they like outside. I mean, well, shoot, even the NBA got fans now. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that all sports will have some. I mean, like I said, I just came from a volleyball game, and we had precautions we had to take. There's ways to do things, and obviously, like you said, it's going to be the people that are there that are going to feel comfortable enough to do it. And especially when you're talking about a football game that's outside anyway, there's precautions to take. So
I go and I hoop though, bro. But when I hoop, even then, I'm wearing my training mask when I'm out there and everything like that. Still, I be gasping for air though, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, the first chance I get when I'm done playing a game, I walk away and have to take my mask off, and I'm like, I feel like I saw somebody post a meme of Hulk Hogan after he done got knocked up and he's getting up like. That's how I look after I get done, and I take my mask off in between games to get some full air, bro. But I'll be dying out there though, man. But you gotta do what you gotta do though, man. So I get it. But I thought football would be the safest one though, when you're actually playing. But I think the biggest thing is that the on-campus stuff. That's where I think that once you're off the field, you can't control that. So I get it though.
Yeah.
Hey man, speaking of football though, let's talk about this though, man, because I tripped out, bro, because first off, I'm seeing a lot of these players getting broke off, right? And I'm sitting here thinking I saw DeAndre Hopkins get broke off, making him the highest paid. Prior to that, Julio was, and then even prior to that, Odell did. And this is one of the things that I think that's just pretty funny about the timing of when you pay players. Because I remember when Odell got his money like 2 years ago from the Giants. And when he got it, it was like long money, right? Everybody was like, yo, he was the highest paid by a good bit. And that's why Antonio Brown, all these boys was talking about they need to get their money, who thought that they were statistically better than Odell. But then you see now, Julio gets his money. He gets a boatload of his. He got something stupid like $60 million guaranteed. And I think all of his was mainly a signing bonus, or he got broke off. And so now you see DeAndre Hopkins. He out here now getting his money. And DeAndre Hopkins getting his later on. He's been in the league for a few years now, though, bro.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy, though. It tells you everything about the timing of when you sign your deals on how irrelevant they can seem years afterwards, though. Just 2 years after.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh man.
What?
Me, boy.
Hey, but listen, one of the things I thought was interesting though, right?
What's that?
So, we were already talking about in the offseason, the boy Patrick Mahomes got that long money.
Right.
Then the homeboy Deshaun comes in. He gets that long money. Now, here's the thing. When you factor into, so this is the thing I think that was interesting. I saw this on that Twitter. That when you really factor into the fact that Deshaun Watson got his money like 2 years before his rookie deal was up, very similar to Carson Wentz, right?
Yeah.
The average of the contract, right? Because he's still going to be on his rookie deal. It makes a difference because of where he got picked, right? Dak Prescott, on the other hand, was third, fourth round pick. So his rookie contract is smaller money. But Deshaun Watson goes ahead and he gets his money. And it really, while it looks like it's about $30-something million, it's probably on average closer to 30 because he's still getting his last couple of years of his rookie contract. I think that's pretty dope. But it is kind of funny to me, though, bro, that Dak Prescott didn't get that money, though, man. I think every time I see everybody getting these contracts, I'm looking at Dak Prescott like, bro, you got to be pissed smooth off over here, though, bro.
Oh,
what is up with your boy Jerry, man?
Yo, boy, if I'm Dak, I'm talking about something. Yeah, man.
Where's that from?
That's from Star Wars, bro.
Oh my God, that is Anakin. That is Anakin
Yep.
getting burned up. That's what that was, though. Yes, that's Anakin getting burned up, bro.
Good pull.
Oh my God, I should have guessed that to begin with, though. Oh my God, that was beautiful, dog. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, bro. But listen, though, man, this is what I think is crazy to me, right? So Carson Wentz is drafted the same draft as Dak Prescott. Yeah. Now, I get that Carson Wentz was drafted higher, right? And so he got more money from his rookie contract. So when the Eagles approached him and said, hey, we want to go ahead and extend you on out, right? They did that with him having like 2 years left on this deal because they knew that was their guy. Very similar to what the Texas did. So I still think it's baffling to me that they let Dak Prescott play all of his years out. So he was already underpaid. He had a smaller deal. He was making I think Dak was making less than $1 million a year, right? And so even on all them years that he was putting up the numbers, right? If you wasn't so sure, wouldn't you, like I said, sometimes those contracts can look irrelevant years down the road, depending on the play of the next guy. Odell Beckham, it looked like him getting paid $12 million a year was ridiculous. And now Julio comes along, kills that deal. DeAndre Hopkins comes along, kills that deal. So now Deshaun Watson comes along, gets his deal that made Carson Wentz's deal look small. And just imagine the deal that Lamar Jackson might be lined up for after next year or the year after that, though, bro.
Yeah.
If Madden
cursed.
Yeah, so I think, bro, that it is very. I still look at this and I still think that something 2 years ago. I'm not gonna even talk about this. Jerry Jones and them still ain't so sold on Dak Prescott, bro. I think that it's crazy to me, bro. What exactly? This is my thing. I know you're not a Cowboy fan, right?
I know, but I have a question about that though.
What you got, bro?
I think that Zeke's contract affected Dak's.
No, I don't. And here's the reason why. Listen, DeMarcus Lawrence got all that money, right? They did. Okay, look. This is what this is what Dak is saying. Dak has said, I haven't missed a single game. I'm standing under the pressure. I'm putting my body in danger with no contract extension in place. Meanwhile, DeMarcus Lawrence goes and get a big chunk. He got paid like $25 million and was stealing money. I don't think he had over 5 sacks. Then you had Ezekiel Elliott, who they paid after him, right? So they go and they pay Ezekiel Elliott, and Zeke go ahead and he has a less than Zeke year. You know, it wasn't quite 1,500, but it wasn't. Zeke looked different, even though he cracked over 1,000 yards. Everybody does. Yeah. The reason why I don't think that it mattered because then they went ahead and paid the wide receiver, I forgot my dude name already, but they paid him. Man, it just hit my, yeah. I keep thinking every time I want to say it, I keep forgetting. But here's what's funny. So I sit there, I watch the game on TV when they played against the Patriots, and he actually stopped. He quit. He was playing against the Patriots and could not get open, got frustrated, and was like, I'm out. He's in self-check. And what's crazy about this, bro, is that he only plays good during home games. Now, mind you, Ace, I know they got the turkey leg hut up in Dallas. I know that the girl Dana got them good plates out there in Dallas. I know that Dallas got a lot of good places to eat. Amari Cooper is who I'm talking about. There we go. Oh my God. Oh my God. So listen, I say that to say this though, bro. I know Dallas got some great places to eat. They got good barbecue. I can understand why you might play a little different, but he's like a night and day player, and you still went and gave him a contract that while he probably won't get the whole thing, it looks on paper like he was getting somewhere around $20 million a year or something crazy like that on average. And so if you think like, listen, bro, you didn't overpaid all of these players who have underperformed, and now it's my time. And that's why I don't think that the Zeke contract did it. I don't think that Amari Cooper's contract did it. I think that it really is a matter of, we'll talk about this. I think that what the difference is, though, bro, is that to me, I look at it like where Dak Prescott has very similar numbers to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has more wins, but when you look at the stats in terms of touchdowns, passer ratings, everything like that, their numbers are very similar. And I think that Jerry Jones and we're looking at him like, yeah, but we also got you, Zeke. We got you the best line in the NFL. We got you the best weapons and everything like that. So I just think that Jerry Jones just doesn't see Dak Prescott as a guy that he realistically wants to pay $30+ million to $35 million to, knowing that even though he's made Tony Romo the highest paid player in the NFL at one point, I just don't think that he thinks that they're winning that much because of Dak Prescott.
Well, I mean, it's clear. Like I made a post today that says, don't give people credit for the way that you think they should care about you. Their actions will show it. And they're showing what they really think of Dak.
See, they said so the rumor, right? The rumor is that Jerry Jones and Dak Nim had a deal that was going to pay him 30. And they walked away thinking, all right, all this was just a formality. And then Dak Nim played against all those sorry teams, the Redskins, the Giants, and put up all these great numbers. And then after that, Dak's agent was like, nah, you can throw that thing out the window. We got a whole new deal. We asking for more money. So I think that that's a lot of what it is. I think that Jerry Jones them agreed to a number that was comfortable. Nobody knows this for sure, but I'm assuming it was about 30. And to be quite honest with you, I think that I can see them justifying paying Dak Prescott $30 million a year. You got to pay him more. You got to pay him more than what Kirk Cousins is making per year. But you also can't pay him what Deshaun and them boys is getting paid, who teams are winning solely because of them.
Hold up, David. We ain't hating on Dallas or the Cowboys. We acknowledging facts, brother.
I usually be hating on the Cowboys fans. I hate on the Cowboy fans. I don't hate the Cowboys as much as I hate the fans.
If they cared about Dak the way they think they cared about him, they should have paid him. Period.
Listen, you got to pay Dak because the price of players are going up. And what Dak and them are looking at is Dak and them are basically saying, well, listen, next year the money goes up even more. So when TV contracts and all these other things potentially go up, I think that what they're looking at is the same thing. They don't want to look back. And let's just say hypothetically, if Dak is balling out, they're banking on his potential to ball out. So you don't want to have Dak balling out, and then you looking at what he's getting Odell Beckham money when somebody else is coming along and Lamar Jackson is now getting that Pat Mahomes money, and it makes his contract looks like it's prehistoric though, man. So I think that's what it is though, man.
Well, see, here's the thing. I agree. Owners don't have to do anything, but what you're also doing is sending a message to a player saying that you don't believe that he is the guy. So if I'm him, I'm betting on myself, because the thing is that as soon as you get paid, whatever is not guaranteed, you get hurt is through. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, now I'm gonna bet on myself, especially when I know there's other teams that could use a Dak Prescott. I get it. I'm with him.
So let me ask you this though.
What's up?
So that's funny you say that, because he said the owners don't have to do nothing, and that usually is the case. But Jerry Jones is also the general manager, and that's what makes him more involved with this one more than most of the others. But even with that said, though, Ace Kennedy,
what's up?
Your Bears have announced that Mitch Trubisky is going to be your starting quarterback. Now, let me ask you this. Y'all picked up Nick Foles. I know you wasn't a fan of that, but they went and picked up Nick Foles, and they paying Nick Foles a handsome little yearly salary. And he did not beat out Mitch Trubisky. So, bro, with that said, Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky, would y'all take Dak Prescott over those two right now?
I would probably take Dak over Mitch and let him be the backup. I told you, Nick Foles should have never been in a Bears uniform. Never. That was
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think I'm gonna be honest. I think that Dak Prescott would be a good fit for the Bears, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. I think that y'all already have a pretty good running back, right? Y'all have two fast wide receivers. I just think that you can't tell how good your skills players are because of Trubisky, right?
Ain't gonna get it to him.
He can't get it to him. I think that at least Dak would be able to get them because he's better now
And
than
he's
the Dak
mobile,
from
too.
2. He's more
Yeah.
mobile now. So I think, to be honest, if they picked up Dak, they can go ahead and build their line and start to age them out and get the new guy. I got to be honest with you, man. Like, I'm not going to say that. I don't think that Dak is trash, like maybe somebody from the NFC East would say. But I would say that I like Dak Prescott better than Trubisky, and also better than. And didn't Trubisky wasn't he in the same draft as Dak?
Yeah, and they traded the third.
They traded everything for him.
We were the third pick in the draft. We were the third pick. We traded up to get the number 2 to get Trubisky, and nobody even knew who he was. People was like, who? Like, they didn't even know where like nobody had them on the list, and they traded up to get him. And then at the same time, we had another quarterback they had just signed in the offseason prior to that. Paid him some money.
Listen, bro. David was talking all right for a Cowboy fan until he said Dak could go to Atlanta and Miami. Miami just drafted Tua, and then the Falcons just paid Matt Ryan a boatload of money, and I think Matt Ryan still got a good 5 years left. I think, to be quite honest with you, I think the Falcons are going to be better this year than what most people would think. I honestly think that the Falcons, the problem that I think that the Falcons had was with running back. Well, they still couldn't get over that Super Bowl. And here's another question that I got for you. We start talking about Super Bowl. So I think that the Falcons problem was they still were hungover on the Super Bowl. And I think that it takes teams some years to get over losing from the Super Bowl. But I think that the problem with the Falcons, that's true. But here's a question for you, though, right? I saw today on ESPN, they did a simulation, and they basically said they did a simulation of the season, and like 1 million times, a computer generated simulation. And it said that in this simulation, the Cowboys would make the Super Bowl as like the final wild card seed. And then they would play against the Kansas City Chiefs, but they would get whipped something like 40-something to like 12, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's on computer. They make it to the Super Bowl all the time on PS4s across the nation. So
I ain't think about that, bro. All these boys out there got the Cowboys in the Super Bowls and Madden all these years. That's the reason. Listen, that's it. Ace. That is it. That is why the Cowboy fans are always so hopeful every year, because they go to the Super Bowl in Madden every single year, bro.
That's it.
My gosh. I never thought about that. I guess I don't play Madden enough to know. But you know what? I'm going to be honest. I think, to me, I don't know if I look at it two ways, right? If the Cowboys did get to the Super Bowl, that would mean that my Saints didn't get there, right?
Yeah.
And that would also mean that somehow they would have crossed paths or whatever. But I got to be honest with you, bro. I wouldn't mind seeing Dallas get to the Super Bowl, to the largest stage, and seeing these boys lose in front of everybody in the blowout. That would be something. But then knowing that the same way that the Falcons, it's taken them 3 years or so to rebound. That means that the Cowboys will be done for at least 3 years. I ain't got to worry about them, though, bro. But Jesus, bro, that is genius, though, Ace. I never thought about that, bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
what up?
I saw Kareem Hunt get him a little extension, which he was with the Chiefs. I felt bad that he missed out on that championship run with the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
But they broke him off with a deal. They gave him some guarantees somewhere around the $8 million a year mark. But bro, I'm sitting here doing some work. I'm getting buzz on my phone, notifications out the wazoo. I look, and your boy Odell Beckham Jr. is trending all over Twitter. He is a trending topic all over Twitter. I said, wait a minute. I saw the memes was active and early. So apparently, bro, the same girls, the set of girls who basically was talking about, they went on What's her name?
Cynthia.
Selena Powell.
Selena Powell.
Selena Powell. This is your boy Axe, old girl, and
Snitch
6ix9ine's old girl. So they got. I don't know if they have their own pod now. I think they do.
They were still on No Jumper.
Well, but this
they had on no. I think it's their podcast, but it was on No Jumper.
Their podcast on No Jumper.
Yeah.
So they're on their pod, and this girl comes on who apparently is the baby mama of Chief Keef, who also was in a video with 6ix9ine, where 6ix9ine was talking about he was smashing her, took on out shopping and did all this stuff, trying to clown the boy Chief Keef or whatever. But yo, I was surprised, Ace, that I saw that this girl comes on there and says that the boy Odell Jr. likes the girls to poop on him, though. Drop the number 2. So all on Twitter, they tell him, they was like, I saw somebody say, man, I thought that the boy Odell was a number 1 wide receiver. I didn't know he was a number 2 wide receiver.
Bro, he plays for the Browns.
Listen, man, I said, hey, yo, you play for the Browns? And this girl just said you like for girls to drop the number 2 on you. You like for the Browns to go to the Super. So much to be said about that. Ace, bruh. Ace, let me tell you what I thought.
What?
How are these same women? These are the same women. One of the girls said that she wound up blowing the socks off of the whole Phoenix Suns roster.
Not the whole. Right? It's 7.
7 is it? That's a playoff. Them the playoff 7. You cut your roster down to about 7 people. There's probably about 4 guys that might be married. The Phoenix Suns got the youngest roster, so I'm assuming that they didn't include the veterans, right? You usually have a couple young guys, a couple veterans, or whatever. We got to look at this roster. I know Devin Booker's on their roster, bro. They got a couple guys. Andrew Guyton's on the roster. We just throw a name. How is it, bro, that these same handful of girls are so easily intertwined with all of these circles like that? Because the one girl said Trey Songz likes to pee on girls, and she said, that's cool. That's kind of okay. I don't mind him being a pisser. But this other girl comes on who has ties to Chief Keef, who has ties to your boy Snitch, comes out and says the boy Odell says, yeah, she said she sent him a video of her taking a dump. And that boy said, I need you to come out here ASAP. Flew out in a couple of hours there, bro.
Yeah, don't take a shower for 24 hours.
Don't take a couple of hours for 24 hours before you come on, because I want you to be smelling raw out here. Everybody likes different things, bro. I want to know, Ace Kennedy, what do you have to say about this one, though, bro?
Absolutely nothing. He wanted her to meet the Browns. That's it. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Here's my thing, bro. Whatever float this boat, bro.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Doodoo Brown. Ace. Listen, let me ask you something. I know, to each his own.
Yeah.
I've seen some people who have, foot fetishes. You know what I'm saying? Some people might have a thing for legs. What's my girl who was in WWE who had the real long legs, man? Stacy Keibler, bro. Had legs for days, though, bro. You got guys who are top heavy. You got some guys who might like the cakes. You got some guys who might like a girl with nice hands, nice teeth, fetishes, whatever. Where does this come in? Is this what these new dudes is doing out here, bro?
I don't know, bro. Like I said, I ain't got nothing on that one. That's that new school thing, I guess.
Oh my gosh, though, man. Interesting. I couldn't believe that the boy was trending for that reason. He rolls out of bed to look and sees that in the morning.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. If you messing with anybody in that crew, you know that your name is liable to come up. They are very known for trying to come up.
I get that, and I understand that. But this is my thing. When you do that, right? where is the response, right? What is the response to that? Because like I could understand if you say if you trace songs, right, and you said and the girl says, yeah, he on me, and she basically says that this was after he already smutted out, right? And so I'm just sitting here thinking like, all right, what do you say? Like, y'all know how they do, but you mess with it knowing that that's what they do.
But that's the thing. It's plausible deniability with that, because it's like you take a grain of salt with these girls say, because they always embellish stuff. And
who's lied? Have one of them lied yet?
Like, yeah.
Which one of them has lied?
Selena has lied. She said she was pregnant by Snitch 9.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Like had like the fake pregnancy test and everything. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They're known to do stuff like that. So that's like, ain't nobody really like taking them serious. Like it's good clickbait, good headlines, good stuff to
It works every time.
Yeah, but if you Odell though, you don't respond, because I mean there's been other allegations about Odell that he's never responded to. It'll blow over. So
oh my gosh. Hey, listen, bro. NBA playoffs is on. It's starting to shape on up. We were talking about last week, man, that the boy Giannis was out here in these streets and he got hurt, but when we last talked, they was almost looking down the barrel of a sweep. He re-injured himself though, man, and luckily Chris Middleton and the boys wound up pulling off, but they out here now game 5 and Giannis is not playing.
Right.
Do you think these boys is going to go ahead and get on out of here today?
Absolutely. They going home today. It was nice to see them. It was nice to see them try to bounce back and win one for they dude. But just like Portland, it's over.
Wait a minute. What is my mama doing jumping on here talking about these girls called boppers and jump off girls? What do you know this from, Lois? Wait a minute. Time out. Where does my mama know the word boppers from? She don't listen to
sucker.
She don't listen to Swisher House. Where do my mama know boppers from? That wasn't around back in her day. Oh my god.
Hey, apparently she knows something.
Listen, I saw the funniest meme though the other day, bro. Saw that they said the Lakers big three pulled out the they said the Lakers big three pulled it off the other day. LeBron balled out. AD balled out, and the boy Russ wound up helping out with them 7 turnovers. That boy Russ said he was out there just running around. And he looked, and listen, I love me some Russ, but I've never seen somebody use so much energy to be unproductive at the same time, though, bro. He was out there not doing nothing.
Well, here's the thing. He's forgetting that he's still only like, 4 games back now. And then on top of that, they used the same joke with Oklahoma, talking about this the best he done played for Oklahoma ever, when he had 7 turnovers. So
best he done played for Oklahoma, bro.
Y'all better leave my boy Russ alone. That's the Brody, bro.
Listen,
still
man,
with my boy. What's up?
I think that what I think is interesting though, bro, is that I thought that the Lakers won the game 1, and it was pretty convincing. Like I thought that they were gonna do. They did. I thought that one of the things that was interesting is it felt like maybe that they knew all along that they just needed a good filler game. Like they wanted to really see what the Rockets would really look like, even though you practice it and everything like that, to see it up live. I thought that it had that feel. I am wondering on these next games, because LeBron can get any shot that he needs, right?
Yeah.
AD can get any shot that he needs to go ahead and get. And so now it really becomes a matter of what are the role players going to do, right? Markieff Morrison came off there, man, and did his thing. Kuz was doing all right also. Like I told you, I got my thoughts about Kuz. But either way, though, right? I think if Russ is going to play in that kind of slump, it's going to hurt him if Russ can't give 25, right, without getting 7 turnovers.
Russ is going to go to the rack. I think part of it, though, I think part of the reason why Russ struggled so bad, because I watched the game, bro, LeBron was getting every call ever. They was not calling nothing on them. Now, I get it. He swatted Russ's stuff clean. That ain't what I'm talking about. There's other times, though.
He didn't block Russ like 4 or 5 times where they've been swats.
Again, he also has been fouled on and no calls. This like he got touched and the exact same call, they go down there and call it for LeBron. Can't give you that, bro.
Hey, listen, man, I'm going to tell you this. I think that the one thing that the Rockets have on their side, and I always tell you about my rule of the 30-30-20, 30-20-20, I mean. I think that the Rockets have, when they're on a given night, I think the Rockets have the potential to have 3 guys go for 20 and a couple of guys go for the teams. If Russ is one of those guys that go for the 20s, and let's say Eric Gordon is one of those guys that also goes for 18, 19. So James Harden does what James Harden typically do, and let's say he gets you 30 or more. If Russell also gets you 25, if he gives you 25, that means that he would have got at least 9 assists. So I think that if Russ can just do that for the rest of average 25 for the rest of this series, I think that the Rockets got a chance to beat the Lakers.
Listen, the Rockets have an excellent chance of beating the Lakers, and it's going to happen. I'm not fixing to go out there with my Charles guarantee, but the Rockets are going to win this series. It's going to happen.
I look at it, man, and I just think that people, it's funny. I saw David say about James Harden defense. I think that it's interesting to me because I think that people, this is just, I'm already been told I'm a James Harden hater. Yes. I think people are putting a lot of stock into his newfound defense. I think that it's not like I'm going to shut you down. It's deflections and it's steals. And I think that to me, I think that when I think of somebody playing defense, I do think Kawhi. I do think that Paul George, where you give the same kind of energy and effort on defense as you do on offense. That's locked.
I get that. But you're talking about James Harden, who had 0 defense. So I
get that. So his little bit. So I get that. So his little bit that he's doing now, I think that people are putting too much stock into it. But I think ultimately, when it comes down to it, I just think that when James Harden plays that defense that he plays, he's not going to be playing it on someone who's going to make that significant of an impact. That's what I mean.
But at the same time, everybody has their assignments, though. So the thing is that like you don't get any extra. If you win a championship, you don't get any extra credit because, oh, you guarded this person or that person. No, like they got people on the team that is designed to do that. My thing is,
more credit. I give you more credit.
It ain't like you get no extra money for it. Like my thing is that
you get more props from me. That means something. That holds weight. Okay. We on Spotify now, bro.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think Russ cares. I don't think that James cares. But at the same token, though, I still feel like the Lakers are so beatable to me, man. Like, don't get me wrong. The Lakers have looked incredible at points, and I'm not even hating on the Lakers. And here's the thing. So once the Thunder went out, my teams that I would like to see win with my top 3 teams that I want to see win is Houston, Lakers, Clippers. So that's the way it goes because I have ties to all 3 of those teams. So that's why I say that. But no, I definitely think the Rockets could win, and I think tonight is going to really put some stock on whoever wins this particular game tonight could.
I always say that whoever wins game 3, I think that there's like a 75% rate. Whoever wins game 3 wins the whole thing, something crazy like that. I think that, what's interesting to me, that because of that reason, I think that the Clippers would beat the Nuggets. I just think that to me, the only way I thought that the Nuggets would have had a chance against the Clippers is if they would have won in 6 games. But the fact that it took them all the way to 7, I think it just took a lot of energy to play. It took a lot of energy for the homie Murray to be able to put up that many 50-point games, score that much more than what his normal career average is. I think for him to basically do that and then come back against a team who are truly, defensive specialists at most part on the wing, I think it was just asking a whole lot. it's part of the reason why I think seeding matters, because you don't get that kind of draw. To be quite honest with you, man, I think that they would have probably had a better chance against the Lakers. But I thought that, once the Clippers won game 3, I was like, I think that's a finality. The same way I think that the Bucks winning, and the same way I thought that, even though the Raptors are making a real compelling argument about their series, though, man, but I like the Celtics still better.
Raptors are not winning. Not winning.
You don't want to see Kyle Lowry get out there. That's what it is, though, bro.
Yo, I'm telling you, Thickums is not gonna make it past this round. It's over for him. He going.
To be honest, here's what I think is interesting, and this is what I tell you when there's the thing that I wonder about the Raptors is that Pascal Siakam is an all-star level player, right? But when it comes down to it, and he's your best player, I think that your best player in the playoffs needs to be the 30 guy. And I just don't know if Siakam has 30 a night game. Like, I know that he can do a lot of things good, but when I look at his game, he's about Paul George's height, size, and I still don't see his move like Paul George. Now, for all the things that I say about Paul George, his game is smooth.
Yes.
Paul George's game is about, it reminds me of, like this, his game is what I think Jason Tatum's game could be, but better. Because I think that Jason Tatum is a better shooter, right? And because he's a better shooter now, I just think that Paul George, ball handling, his fluidness, he looks, while he's about 6'9", he still has the movements and fluidity of a guard, a small guard, bro. And so,
right, I love the way he shoots.
I don't know if Siakam got that yet, and that's why I think that they're gonna lose, bro.
Yo, what have you seen Jeff Green, bro? He been missing.
Who?
Jeff Green.
No, Jeff Green played the other day. No, he played the other day.
But where has he been, though?
He's been trying to guard LeBron. LeBron, a different 36-year-old, 35-year-old. Jeff Green about the same age, if not older than LeBron.
Where them points at?
But the thing about it is that I think that you got Jeff Green playing a little different, right? To me, I think that it's a wonder to me how Jeff Green is on the Rockets roster, because he's not a stand behind the 3-point line and shoot it. And that's what they made him. And so I think that you don't see Jeff Green doing what he probably could do, because he's not playing the Jeff Green style game.
He was killing it in OKC. We was hating to see him touch the floor. He disappeared.
Well, but I think that, but again, it's a lot different from when you're getting your assist when Russ is turned up, because to me, I think that James Harden are giving you the shots that he don't want to take, whereas Russ is giving you the shot that he's putting you in position to take. And so I think that the assists just look different coming from Russ, though, bro. Yeah. But the Raptors are missing another player who's better than Siakam, though, bro.
Yeah, because Thickums ain't doing it. And now, was it Fred VanVleet?
Fred VanVleet, he's balling, though, bro. But yeah, I still think it's not enough, which is going to be interesting, dude, because he's going to be a free agent. I think he's unrestricted after this year. And I think that there's a lot of teams. You know what I'm wondering? Who are a lot of these guys that are going to try to go to Miami, though, to jump on what they're doing? Because I think Miami might be on to something, though, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, so interesting thing, though, man. We were talking earlier, man, about Byron Scott. Now, last week, we kind of talked about when the New Jersey Nets signed Steve Nash as their coach. And Stephen A. Smith said, listen, I think that he's going to do an outstanding job. I think that he is, don't say to the Knicks, bro. But listen, he says, but let me just go ahead and call a spade a spade. I think this is white privilege, right? And when we talked about that, I think that we both kind of agree that this wasn't quite white privilege. I told you that I knew where he was trying to go. I thought that it was a reach, right? I think ultimately the reason why it wasn't was because I I think that Kyrie and his connection to them had a lot to do with it. But Byron Scott came back and said, "Listen, bro, do you got his exact? I want you. What were his exact words?"
It says, "We don't get jobs like that are that set and that good where you get two all-stars like Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. We get the jobs where you have to try to make it something out of nothing. Then when you don't or aren't able to do it, they'll say, 'See, we gave him an opportunity.'" And I love Byron Scott. He was the coach of the Oklahoma City Hornets when they were here. And of course, my in-laws, or not in-laws, but my kinfolk, Gail Reed and Willis Reed were president of basketball operations at the time. So I had a very, very good relationship with Byron Scott. I even did a song with his son. So I love
connection.
Yeah, I love Byron Scott, but I disagree with this. Now, here's the thing. I can't disagree with him saying what he said because he was a coach in the NBA. He had a different experience. He has some hands-on experience with that, but I disagree with what he said in the statement.
I'm gonna be okay. I think that what Byron Scott is saying is different from what Stephen A. Smith is saying, and maybe this is what Stephen A. Smith was trying to say. But I think that what Byron Scott said was very specific and very targeted. Whereas I think that Stephen A. Smith was saying something that was more generalized, right? But I personally, I think that there's more to what Byron Scott is saying. And because I think that he is my interpretation of what he's saying.
So not facts, basically.
My interpretation based off of the facts that he is probably insinuating. I agree with him on that premise. I think that what he's saying is that there's very few times, and I can only think of two coaches in my adult life. So I'm going to say, let's say in 20 years, in the past 20 years, I would think that there were fewer Black coaches who have inherited a ready-to-go team. And when I say a ready-to-go team, that's a contender. I mean a team that has the top 6 team that's ready to contend for a championship right away. I think I can only think of maybe 2. So I understand what Byron Scott is saying exactly.
I have 6 coaches that have all had all-stars on their team that should have did something with their teams.
We talking about different things. We talking about different things.
He said having players with 2 all-stars on them. That's what he said.
Who you got?
Ty Lue, Dwayne Casey.
Dwayne Casey, no.
Dwayne Casey, what? He had 2 all-stars on his team. He had DeMar DeRozan, and he had DeMar DeRozan, and he had Thickums. That's 2 all-stars.
Go ahead.
Alvin Gentry, Mark Jackson, Mike Brown, Doc Rivers.
Okay. Of those coaches that you named, Doc Rivers and Tyronn Lue are the only ones that I can think of that inherited teams. And here's where I think that let me clarify on this one. So Tyronn Lue was basically handpicked. He was on David Platt's roster, and basically he was there so that the minute he failed, they would go ahead and call him on up. They made him the highest paid assistant. He was already handmade, and he was handpicked, and he inherited a team that had basically 3 all-stars: LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love. So Tyronn Lue, I agree with you. I think that Doc Rivers had to build Orlando. So the teams that he inherited, he inherited a Boston roster before they had the big 3. So he didn't inherit them. The only roster that he inherited that was a contender, to me, that he didn't have to build, all he had to do was show up and they were already ready, was the Clippers, right? But Dwayne Casey, you said Dwayne Casey, and that's kind of interesting because Dwayne Casey built the Raptors. He developed those players into all-stars. He didn't inherit them. That's what I think that Byron Scott is saying. He didn't just show up to 2 all-stars. He coached those guys to be all-stars. Let me tell you, no. This is what I'm saying. Let me tell you, because you're missing out a part. You're missing out a key part that Byron Scott said. The say you said Dwayne Casey, you said Alvin Gentry. Alvin Gentry had to build the Clippers. No, not the Clippers, guy. He was on the Clippers. He was coach Clippers coach. He had to build the Pelicans. Let's take a step back, because the part that you're missing is that Byron Scott says, no, we don't inherit those jobs. We don't inherit them. We're expected to build it.
I read everything he said.
We built. So when you name those coaches, no, what I'm saying is when you name those coaches, you name coaches who had to be half those coaches you named besides Lou and besides Doc Rivers. And Doc Rivers had to build the team. Those guys had to build it. They didn't just walk into those jobs.
Charles, answer my question. I heard everything you said, but you're not answering my question. Did these coaches have the all-stars on their team? Mike Brown, when he went to the Lakers, he had Metta World Peace, Paul Gasol, Kobe Bryant. He had Steve Nash. He had Dwight Howard. What I'm saying is he had the talent to win a championship, but could not get it done. So my question is, for all of these coaches that have had these all-star players, because like he said, he also said in there about these teams not having these all-stars, like building it from the ground up with no all-stars. That's not the case.
That's not. That's what I'm saying. We interpreted what he said differently. But let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I think that what he's saying. What I'm saying is this. He's saying that, yeah, you said Mark Jackson, and Mark Jackson had Steph, and he had Clay, and he had Draymond. But guess what? He drafted all of those players. He coached all those players up to be all-stars. And the minute that listen, now it's not that he couldn't get it done. The minute that he got those guys where they were good enough to, who knows? I give Steve Kerr all the props that he got them over the hump. But Mark Jackson, they let him go before he had the opportunity to have them as the Warriors that we know them to be. The minute that they were the Warriors that we know, they let him go, but they didn't let him go when he was building them.
So,
right?
so the same team that Kerr had.
Mark Jackson probably could have won. He could have, with those same guys. Yes, I think Mark Jackson could have got them to the finals.
But he didn't.
You're right, because he got let go. Now here's the other one. You said Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey got to that particular team, right? So he got to the Raptors. When he got to the Raptors were not this Raptors that you know them were. They had DeMar DeRozan, who he also drafted. They also drafted Siakam under him, and their team was good. They didn't have Kawhi Leonard. It wasn't the coaching change. I think that if you had Dwayne Casey as that same coach, that would have had Kawhi Leonard instead of DeMar DeRozan, would have done the same thing. And here's the thing:
all-stars and couldn't do no.
But listen. But Dwayne Casey was the coach of the year 2 times, and in return for him he got fired the year after winning the coach of the year. And in return for that, you would think that there were other teams who were also contending. They got other coaches. He got the Pistons, another rebuild. Listen, David Fizdale was the head coach for the Miami Heat when LeBron won the championship, and everybody regarded him as their number one assistant, their associate coach on their team, right? He didn't go and get a team that was already ready-made. He had to go ahead and get the Grizzlies when the Grizzlies was in between their transition. They're out of Marc Gasol, and they're getting out of Zach Randolph. And then he goes to, again, another rebuild of the Knicks. When Avery Johnson came on, Avery Johnson had to rebuild the Nets. He got the Nets owned up to where he inherited the Nets when the Nets were in the process of getting out of Vince Carter. When Vince Carter's getting old, Jason Kidd, he had an old guy, but he didn't inherit a contender. Luke Walton, right? Luke Walton was the coach for the Warriors and inherited Kobe, got fired, and then inherited another good young team with De'Aaron Fox and all these young draft picks. So what Byron Scott is saying is that, yeah, there's been 1 or 2 here and there that have inherited a team that's ready to win a championship, but it doesn't happen very often. And that's what I think that he meant.
Charles, here's the thing. Do I agree that there should be more black coaches and black owners in the National Basketball Association? Absolutely. But there are other coaches that are not black that are getting fired for the same thing of building up teams, and then they get fired because they don't produce.
But they're not given the opportunities.
I let you get your whole point out. It's a production issue. This isn't a race issue. That's what it is. It's a production issue, not a race issue. Because if Mark Jackson would have won the championship with the Golden State team words that he had, he would have still been there. He didn't win, so he got fired. The same thing. Mike Brown had all these players. Now Doc Rivers got all these players. If you would have won, you would have kept your job.
You got to be given the opportunity. My thing is this. This is where I'm going, right? So Jason Kidd's get there, right? He inherits the Bucks, right? He gets the Bucks where the Bucks are starting to look decent. Giannis is coming along, and he's working with Giannis. He is under his tutelage, as a head coach. Giannis is starting to be the Giannis that we see. Then they go ahead and they let him go, right? Hadn't been seen on the coaching scene as a head coach since then. Let him go. He didn't inherit it. He had to build it. When Derek Fisher came, Derek Fisher got a Knicks team that they already were in the process of basically getting ready to ship Melo on out. He inherited a team that wasn't a contender. It was a team that he had to develop. You said Mike Brown. Mike Brown, even though he went to the Lakers, he also he basically was part of that team where they drafted LeBron. He was part of the draft that drafted LeBron. There may be another coach, but he had to be there to see LeBron's development. He didn't just go and besides Kobe, you're talking about a Kobe Bryant team that was the old Kobe, not the young Kobe, the old Pau Gasol, the old Meta World Peace, the old version of all of those players, though, bro. So that's what I'm saying. It's fun. And even when you said Alvin Gentry, when Alvin Gentry got the 2 All-Stars, like when you said he did have AD and he did have Boogie. But guess what? Boogie got injured, they got bounced, and he got bounced. But he had to build that team because he was around when they drafted AD. So that's what I'm saying. The point that he's saying is that in these particular days, right? When you see that now that you got some team, you see very few teams that have drafted a player. That player has stuck around to that one team, and they've added another player to that team. And then they've added, whether it's through draft or free agency or whatever. Now you got 2 homegrown players, and you got them where those 2 homegrown players are contenders. Like Ty Lue's going to do it again. Like Ty Lue, if he get the 76ers job, right, that'll be the second time that he's inherited a pretty good roster, 2 All-Stars on it, right? Two teams that can basically contend right away. But I think that for every time you see a Ty Lue or you see a Doc Rivers, you see a Mike D'Antoni who ain't never won nothing, right? You see a Steve Gifford, who was the coach of the Hornets, who ain't never won nothing. Then goes out after the Orlando Magic hired Jacques Vaughn, gave him 1 season, fired him, brought in Gifford, right? And now Gifford is playing. He got his team in the playoffs, but they're not even a 500 team. Meanwhile, Jacques Vaughn is over at the Nets team, and now he's the highest paid associate head coach because they see that he knows what he's talking about, but he wasn't given the opportunity to help even build Orlando. That happens almost all the time with head coaches, in that these head coaches, when the black coaches do build the team up, the minute that the team is built up, they go ahead and pass them on over. And they say, all right, well, I'm not saying that it's purposely done and mindfully done, but for whatever way you want to call it, I always see that when a black coach has built up their team, they're typically followed up by a white head coach that someone thinks can put them over the hurdle, bro. It happens. So I know that you may have a couple of hand-picked examples, but I'm saying the history of the league, very sparingly, though. I think you can go back to like the Celtics, though, bro, when like Casey Jones was a player and he had got that roster from like Red Auerbach that had like 5 or 6 Hall of Fames on it. That was like the first time, but very few times though, bro. Very, very few times though, man. And so I think that what he is saying is that I think that in NBA owners still seem to be not as trusting of NBA coaches being black. And so, from that perspective, while the NBA in itself isn't racist, I think that he still feels like that there is a level of comfort that white owners have with white coaches and giving them the opportunities to fail than what they have found with black coaches traditionally.
Okay, so the NBA that I've been watching is been like each coach has been given at least 3 or 4 years, and if they fail, they get fired. So I just don't see it. I think that we have to be careful with what we call racism all the time because
I agree with that 1,000%.
and so my thing is that I understand. Like I said, there's no question that we should have more black coaches, more black owners. I 100% agree with that. I just don't see this particular example as that. And that's what I'm saying. Again, I'm not commenting on his particular situation on what has happened in his career. I'm not. That's because he experienced that. But to make that a blanket statement, I don't. I feel like, listen, these coaches that I listed had all stars on their team and they didn't get it done, so they got fired. Just like the 76ers coach just got fired.
I get what you're saying though, bro. I think that, to me, to be quite honest, that's why when you and I were talking about this,
Yeah.
I think that there are facts, but then there are facts within the facts. It's why I think that you can look at, we were talking about Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson, and you can look at their stats and you think, oh, on paper, their numbers are about the same. You know, passer ratings, not that much of a difference between Dak and Deshaun Watson. Yards, not that much of a difference. Touchdowns, not that much of a difference. I think there's a slight difference in wins, but I think that on paper, the facts say that statistically they're almost the same. But you don't compare Dak and Deshaun. They're on different levels. And I think that that's why I said there are facts behind the facts. Yeah, some team could have 2 all-stars, but there are levels, there are next level facts to that though, bro.
But also, like I said, I think at the end of the day, you can look at any situation and lean it in both favors. And I don't think that anybody that feels that way is wrong. I'm just saying what I personally feel.
I get that.
And I'm not saying that like the ratio of anything is fair. But I still think it's reaching. I still think it's reaching though.
I don't think it's a reach, but shout out to Mark for correcting me, because Jason Kidd did get his job started with the Nets, and they actually traded him like he was a player, bro. Traded him as a head coach, though.
Yeah.
Hey, so listen,
what's up, bro?
Let's switch topics because this is something that I think is pretty interesting, though, bro. So you went to the movies over the weekend, bro. I thought that was pretty crazy, though, man, because I ain't so quite ready to go, but I saw that Tenet came out and it looked dope. And I listen, I'm gonna be honest. I cannot wait to watch it, but I ain't going to the movies to watch it no time soon. Right. So with that said, though, they said it made over $20 million. Pretty good considering, movies is just now opening up. I'm gonna ask you, as a person who went and had the movie cinema experience.
Yeah.
Is going back to the movies back? Is it a thing? Tell me, first of all, I want to know from you 2 things. What was your movie going experience? And give me your review of the movie. Now, mind you, I'm not going to go to the movies to see it no time soon. By the time it comes out and I see it, it's going to be on DVD. So you ain't going to spoil nothing to me.
I'm not
going to tell me whatever you want to tell me.
Listen,
I don't mind you telling me.
I know that, but I'm not going to do that for the viewers. This is the official Slash Brothers non-spoiler review.
Let's do it.
The movie Tenet.
Tell me about the movie going experience.
All right. So, thank you, David. Have a good one, bro. Appreciate you for stopping through, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. So, Tenet. First of all, the movie going experience. We purchased our tickets online. It was 3 of us. We saw it in IMAX, and it was probably maybe 30 people max in this huge auditorium. They had it blocked off so that you couldn't buy seats. So, like, if you're like row A, you could buy seats in row A, but you couldn't in B. But you couldn't C, you couldn't in D, you could in E, couldn't in F, and so on. And so then on top of that, even with like we got seats probably in the center of the theater, in the center, so center, and the closest seats away from us that had people in it was probably 6 seats away. There was the next group of people. So again, you have to wear a mask inside there. The whole thing was straight, bro. I mean, felt completely safe.
Hey, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I'm not ready to sit next to somebody that I don't know, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't sitting next to nobody. I wasn't.
Right, I get that, but I'm saying in terms of just, let's say if they just say, we're gonna bust it wide open.
But they're not gonna do that though. That's already been the president.
Right. But I think that's my biggest thing is that I don't want to, even if they separated that way, I don't even want nobody who bought tickets in my row to be sitting in the seat next to me, unless they made it to where no. We absolutely got to set up systematically where you cannot sit directly.
No. I'm sure unless you're in a group, you can't buy seats completely next to somebody. Like I think somewhere in the system, once you purchase a set of tickets, then it automatically is going to block out the next ones over. Because like I said, we were 6 seats. Like if they were talking, I couldn't even hear them at all. They were like at least 6 seats away from us. And then there was nobody else on our row, like outside of those people. And we were inside the IMAX joint.
Did anybody cough the whole entire time?
Nah. And
if I heard a cough, it'd be time for me to get out of it.
And then I wouldn't have heard it anyway with the explosions and everything else. Like, nah.
So tell me about the movie. What tell me what was good.
Okay, so Tenet is Ocean's 11 meets James Bond meets Inception meets The Matrix. And I have specific reasons why I say it's all those kind of mixed together. It is somewhat of a spy thriller. It is sci-fi. It's you can even tell from the trailers, this is a time warping movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's time travel within it. Also, like I said, it is very much a caper, and it's got like stuff in it. I said Ocean's 11 because there's things that have to happen in order for this to happen. In order for it's that seamless transition.
Right.
And then of course Inception, because it's done by Christopher Nolan, and if you've seen Inception, you know how inversions and things happen, and so your mind is twisted. And then The Matrix, because there are things that are said within the script that you probably won't get watching it the first time. Like there was just conversations that happened that you just, as a viewer, they expect you to just get it, like, or don't question it. That's just what it is. So that's why I said The Matrix, because if you think back to like Matrix Revolution, Matrix Reloaded, when he had a conversation with the architect, I don't know anybody that understood what the architect was saying. And so there are things that are said in the script that are just kind of like, and so that was kind of one of the issues that I had with the movie. Overall, I thought the movie was great. The only thing that I kind of had issue with was John David Washington's character was very believing of certain things that he just found out. And that was just kind of weird to me. Like, it would be like, I would say, like, Charles, I want you to go and walk straight through that wall. When you get through the wall, I want you to wave your hand, and then a rope is going to come down and pull you up. As a normal person, you're just not going to believe that. Like, it's going to take you convincing. But there were some things that were happening that they would say this is going to happen, and he would just believe it. And and I get it. The way his character was set up, because of his backstory, there are things that he's experienced as a character that would lead him to just believe somebody to tell him something like that. But it was just way too easy to believe stuff in there. But other than that, all that said, with all that aside, I give the movie an 8 out of 10, man.
Let me ask you this. Is it better than the Jamie Foxx movie that was on Netflix?
Which one we talking about? Sleepers?
Power,
Project Power?
Yes.
Yes. And I say that.
Is it better than Old Guard?
Yes. Like,
because if you would have said no, right? So this is one thing about, if you would have said no, it's not better than movies that are on Netflix, then why would I go to the movies to see something that's better than the movie I can just sit at home and
But see,
watch.
that's the thing, though. I think it's unfair to really. I mean, yes, they're both action thrillers, and they are suspenseful. And I mean, have that stuff going on. But I don't know that my first time watching Tenet at home would necessarily have that same experience that I did in the theater. Like I think this is one that you want to see on the big screen. Like for me, Captain Marvel, I enjoyed it at home. I didn't really like it in the theater. As a matter of fact,
I still have never seen Captain Marvel, bro.
You ain't missing nothing really. But at the same token, I don't want to see Black Widow at home. I want to see Black Widow.
That's gonna hurt my heart. So this are two movies that's gonna hurt my heart. Black Widow and if Fast and Furious comes out in the theater anytime.
Fast and Furious got pushed back for a reason. That was the reason why they pushed it a year out.
It would hurt my heart if it. But other than that, though, man, like I was curious though because it everything about it looks dope. I mean, everything about it makes me. Under normal circumstances, it is a movie that I absolutely have to see. But I just, dog, listen. I'm laughing because I'm looking at Mark's comment here. We said I need my family to have the whole room so I don't flip on a sneeze. That is my number one thing, though, bro. It's like I'm not sure if I'm ready to be completely confined around somebody else's germs just yet, though. Bro, being the germaphobe I am, though.
Oh gosh. Well, here's the other.
Like when I go hoop, though, bro, it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm outside, wind blowing.
If that's the case, if you feel that strongly, then you shouldn't even be hooping.
No, I'm outside. You know what I'm saying? The wind blows. And
why are you wearing a mask?
I'm blowing a mask as the X protection.
I'm just saying, bro. Like I said, I felt completely safe. I didn't even feel no type of way after I left because it was like I felt so comfortable. Like, all right, I'm with people that I'm with all the time. These other two, I'm with.
The other part too, bro, is that I don't know that I would be able to wear a mask. And maybe because I might wear a mask for like an hour straight, but for 2 hours wearing a mask, I don't know.
You know, I guess it depends on what kind of mask you're wearing. Because I mean, you know,
yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I said, I thought the movie was good. I thought the experience was fine. It made me hype for going to see more movies because I felt so safe. Like, okay,
that's dope. That's dope.
I can have some sort of something to look forward to. Like I wouldn't mind to take Sarah to see something. I know Deuce wants to see New Mutants, so I'd love to get it. You know, I felt comfortable.
I ain't quite there yet. You know what I'm saying? At some point I will be, but nah.
I get it, bro. To each his own. But like I said, I think there are cautions that are taken, and plus, like you said, there are people that are still like you that's not trying to get out. So it's like I said, we were in the IMAX, so we were in the big joint, and it was pretty big. Like I was amazed it was like only 30 people in that big space, and everybody was just sectioned off everywhere. So I thought it was cool, man.
What's funny though, bro, is that this is how germaphobe I am, bro. Is that when I'm hooping, I got my mask and I have hand sanitizer. So in between games, I'm putting hand sanitizer on my hand in between there. And then I might just when ain't nobody looking, right? I might just get a bunch of hand sanitizer, rub the ball down with the hand sanitizer real quick, then put some more on my hand to make sure my hand is clean from it, though, bro. So I don't know. Hey, bro, Power's back.
I watched it.
The most hated young man under doggone 18 years old is back on TV, though, bro.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I found myself every time he was on screen, I cringed. Like I'm gonna be honest, man. Here's the thing, man. I am more intrigued with everybody else but him. Like it's like I like what they're trying to do. Like they're trying to have that whole, you know, college feel to it but I just don't like him as a character. And you like there's nothing he can do now that's gonna make me like him now. So it's just like he's supposed to be like the protagonist or whatever you want to call it, but I'm just not in it for him. I almost stopped watching. I'm like, yo, where's the Tommy Egan joint? I don't want to see Tariq, bro.
Yo, so let me tell you what I think is crazy. What I think is crazy to me, right, is that it does. I'm gonna be honest. it makes me. I saw 50 Cent wind up posting something that there was another series of Power where it's going to be based off of Tommy with him.
Yeah. There's a bunch of.
Right. So it does make me more interested in Tommy because he's part of the original cast and everything like that. I love the original cast. So it does make me more interested in that. But here's the thing. He reminded me of when on Game of Thrones, right? When you hated Joffrey and nothing he was going to do was going to make you ever like him. Tariq's the same way. Like everything about it, he seems like someone said, "Oh yeah, they really gonna hate you when you do it this way or say it this way," and it's mission accomplished, though, bro. And
I think what I'm saying is, I just feel like all the characters that they kept were like the B list of the B list characters, like not B list, the supporting cast. So it's like I don't like Sax, so I could care less what he had to say. I was more interested in Method Man's character. I was interested in Mary J. Blige's character.
But you can't have the heavyweights on there if you want to build up the new people, because then if you do that, then they won't have that time.
But you build the new characters with at least, like, you can't just say that Tasha's character, because she's in jail, she doesn't get a lot of screen time like that in order to build up the side character. Even Grandma, like, why she has so much camera time?
Oh my God! So
it was just like,
I'm gonna be honest. The grandma is the one that gets on my nerves, though. I found that she got on my nerves. It was almost like, all right, Tariq getting on my nerves. Now Grandma is in the same scene as him, and then I'm just like, oh, but.
I almost gave up on that show so much. Like, I'm like, listen, man, I could be watching The Boys right now. I could be watching Umbrella Academy. Like, I'm really watching this show. Like, I wouldn't even like looking past spoilers on
me neither.
It's not the same. It's not the same. Now, I will give them credit because, like, even the behind the background music is different. So they're trying to make it a different show, even though it has the same intro. I like that in the actual episode that there's different music. It's not necessarily the same. To give it a different feel.
I'm going to be honest with you. I do. I mean, I'm invested now, right? So it's almost like how I'm invested in Walking Dead, right? And so I'm so invested in Walking Dead that I watched Fear the Walking Dead, right? Same premise, different perspectives, spinoff. So I'm trying to look at it from that regard, in the fact that it's just different. And because I've already sat through 4 or 5 seasons of it, I figure that, all right, I'm, as a fan, I'm invested in the franchise. So I watch it just because of being familiar with it, though, bro. Yeah. So,
but it's cool. We'll see how it is.
That Walking Dead, though, bro. We back next month, and it's gonna be real. Well, it's gonna be back and then gone, because I think that what's supposed to happen is that this is for the people who were into The Walking Dead anyway. You're going to have me start doing a Walking Dead review to get people ready. But listen, the last time The Walking Dead came on, the girl Michonne went off on her own, and she had caught up with some dude who had a little boat. He was going to take her to this community where he was at. And somehow, long story short, she goes there. He tries to set him on up, finds all this stuff. Well, on the way back, she winds up, finding this like Navy boat, and on the boat she finds boots that were Rick's boots. So apparently it tied that Rick was there somewhere, and she's like, where did these boots come from? Boom, 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 boom. So randomly going toward the end of the episode, she comes across this guy and this girl who's limping. She helps them out because they are about getting chased by some walkers. And she was like, oh, we can make it. They're almost about to leave us. She was like, well, who y'all talking about? And she was like, yeah, those people over there. She looked, it's a whole community, thousands of people looking like they migrating over to a new area. So it looks like it's about to be, and it's only for a single episode. They shut it down for that. And then on Fear the Walking Dead, the boy Morgan, who was one of the main guys on this one. Well, Maggie is supposed to be back, but on Fear the Walking Dead, Morgan is looking a little older. Looks like he's skinnier. Like he's getting a little sick and everything like that in some of the new ones. So I'm pretty excited about this next one. So I'm about to have a spot now where when I finish up Umbrella, The Boys, The Order, and then I'm gonna be coming up on that Walking Dead for I'm gonna be straight for the start of the fall though, man. I might give me a little pumpkin spice latte and watch my joints on over here, man.
And I'm about to start P Valley, bro.
You know what, man? I started P Valley and I watched like 2 episodes with the missus though, bro. And then she wound up watching a couple without me. I was like, I'm good. I don't even want to watch.
I hate that. I don't even try to start shows.
I said I'm cool on it now, though, man. You can go.
But I will say, man, the boy John David Washington, it secures the fact that he could be T'Challa.
Yeah, he got the range, huh?
Got the range, bro.
Oh man, that's good. That is it. Because I've seen more and more things floating around where people say, "Oh, it's been confirmed that Shuri is going to be the one." And the more I think about it, the more I would like to see there just be a new T'Challa, and the more I would see him as it, though, bro.
Marvel hasn't confirmed it, so it's not confirmed. It's not confirmed until Marvel comes out and says. But again, I understand that nobody wants to see. But here's the thing: what's crazy, right? We always like us as black people. We don't want to see a new T'Challa, but it's okay to see a new Batman, though. Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you, though, bro. Like,
we don't have many
me a long time
like that, bro.
It takes me a long time to get sold on it. I'm gonna be honest. It takes me like 2. It takes me 2 Batman movies or seeing Batman in different films for me to be sold on, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think Ben Affleck was a good Batman on the first one, and then maybe it took to like Justice League.
Good movie.
Yeah, it wasn't a good, but even a Justice League, it took to Justice League for me to be like, all right, I accept it, but it wasn't the best. And I'm gonna be honest, it maybe that way with Christian Bale, not Christian Bale, but what's my dude?
Val Kilmer.
No, not Val Kilmer. It was Kristen Bell. Wasn't it? No,
Kristen Bell was Kristen Bell was
Bell was Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Yeah.
It took by the second time
Dark Knight
for me to actually start to say, okay, yeah. But he had a couple of films in, so I didn't like.
So you didn't like the trailer with Robert Pattinson in it?
I got to get used to him, bro.
Oh, you need to watch Tenet, then you be straight.
I like Val Kilmer. You know what I'm saying? I liked
Clooney.
I liked
Keaton.
I like Keaton, but when I saw Keaton as the original, it did take me a little while to get used to. But see, it was almost like, it be taking me a little while. It take me 2 films to get used to the Batman, and then by the 3rd time they get ready to switch him off of him anyway, though, man. So
that's what I'm saying, though. T'Challa, it was a real life thing. So at that, you know what I'm saying, you was able to get over Rhodey real quick. You got over Terrence Howard quick.
Oh yeah, that didn't take me because his role wasn't that big of a deal. But it would be like it would be like if they switched Captain America up, right? Like I'd be like, nah, bro. Like, it would take you somebody serious. It would be like if Matrix came out and there was this new guy who was Neo, and the only way I would believe that it was a new Neo is if this was Neo before he was introduced to the Matrix. But if you pick up after 3 and you say no, this is just what happens next, then you'd have missed me with that all together.
I get it, but like I said, real life situation versus them just switching it out on their own is, I think, a different circumstance.
I would love to see John David Washington as the
especially because the leadership role that T'Challa was supposed to take. That's where I'm at.
And I forgot until I saw the other day, it popped up on TV that A Message from the King. The boy had the accent on that before I saw Black Panther. So I was like, okay, he did the African accent a couple of times. I was like, okay. Yeah. So hey, get us on out here, man. We alone today, man. What's the reviews in though, bro? What we got, bro?
Hey man, it's that time, bro. You ready?
Yeah. Kick that music, homeboy. We out of here. Slash Brothers. Tuesdays, Fridays, 7 o'clock. We live on Facebook. We live on YouTube. And then we pushing this thing on out there on Spotify. It should be out there tonight. Slash Brothers, we out this thing. One love.
The Slash Brothers Podcast. The greatest podcast